totally full of people. Selima, you're doing excellent. Look at you. You're doing better than I was doing with it.
All right, let's rock. Now we're heading to the event. Come on now. Let's see how they're doing. Good, you got it.
Here she goes.
Good. All right, she's experimenting with the new standard bike. She left the bike that I gave her at home, but now she's doing fine with this. Yeah! All right, now we're rocking to the concert. We joined you there. All right, Mr. Clean is finally on the scene. I got the ladies in and myself, all with a contribution of only $20. And this gentleman is also going in. What do you think about this whole thing?
This whole thing, the fight for a minimum wage is a courageous and wonderful fight to be involved in. So
yes!
I'm glad to put my money up for it.
As I understand it, the HilL was actually like 100 years ago was murdered.
I think he was hung, actually.
There's that babbling guy.
Yeah.
So the he was like advocating.
I think he was arrested, convicted of something, and hung. That's what I think.
And that was their way of neutralizing his threat. Like he was protesting for workers' rights, and then they framed him.
I might be thinking of Sacco and Vanzetti.
No, Pete Myers told me that was the deal.
Sacco Vanzetti with JoE, for God's sake.
No, I'm not confusing him. I'm just making a distinction.
Frank's going off. Frank's going up again. Frank's going off. The Frank syndrome. All right, the people are now setting up. The sound technician is working hard. Salima's over there looking at the literature. They've got food going on over here. This gentleman gave his input. Oliva made it in. We're all here and we made it, yes! All right, now where would be a good seating? Right in front? All right, we got some munchies and the musicians are setting up. We all made it in and people are beginning to gather. The place should be packed out pretty soon. All right, Pete has agreed to talk about JoE. He knows the real story. Say, brother JoE, the real story.
You know, I actually don't know that much about JoE, but what I do know that he was a singer-songwriter with the Wobblies, the International Workers of the World, which was an incredible labor movement, you know, in the early part of the 20th century, like the early 1900s. And this guy, you know, like he was just traveling the country, singing, songwriting, inspiring people. And this was like a real strong labor movement beyond how we understand organized labor to be now. And the guy was out in Salt Lake City, Utah, 100 years ago now. I mean, not today, but 1915. And he was implicated very wrongfully as having killed somebody, which many eyewitnesses said was not in fact true. And he was executed by a firing squad. So JoE is a legendary labor activist who's actually celebrated at the Labor Day picnic every year. For the last 30 years, the Workers' Center and the Labor Council have given awards to the JoE Award of the Year. So there we have it.
Excellent, thank you very much.
All right. Cool.
All right, that was the real story behind JoE. Now the performers will start soon. Salim and Oliva are here. The people are starting to gather, more are coming. They were doing some rehearsal in the back there, and we'll rejoin you later with the music. Everything you want to see.
Workers Center and our campaign, which is really, we'll be talking about it more in the program later, but it's a campaign that's designed to raise the minimum wage to a living wage for every single worker in Tompkins County. Which is not unlike what happened in Seattle late last year, and it's going to be the biggest campaign that my organization ever did, and it's going to be a rocking campaign for the next year or two in Tompkins County, but you'll hear more about that later. Right now, it is my pleasure to welcome the incredible musicians that have agreed to do this benefit fundraiser for us. and they're going to do a song together, which is going to be great. It's my pleasure to introduce Magpie, who is Terry Leonino and Greg Artsner. The Burns sisters, specifically Annie and Marie Burns. Mr. Doug Robinson. And a guy who's really actually helped to play a major role helping to publicize this concert, local guy named George Mann. Wait to hear this song. Get your yard signs, sign your petitions tonight.
Hello, everybody.
You're singing.
Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're very happy to be here. And Magpie and Charlie King and I started a tour a few days ago down in Washington, D.C. to honor Joe HilL on the 100th anniversary of his death. And we'll be singing plenty of songs about Joe HilL and talking about Joe HilL tonight. But because we're in Ithaca, we wanted to bring the Burns sisters out. And we're very happy they are going to be doing a set. Yeah. And to show what troopers they are, they're actually flying to Ireland, or at least Marie is flying tomorrow morning for a tour of Ireland, and Annie's joining her in a couple of days. So we're very happy. We're going to open with this great song, one of Joe HilL's best-known songs. He wrote it for the free speech fight in Spokane, Washington, 1910, to the tune of the Sweet By and By, called The Preacher and the Slave. And we want to hear you singing back. You'll follow my friends here. They'll give you the direction. It's sung Baptist style. So when we get to the chorus, you will eat, by and by, in that glorious land above the sky. And you sing, way up high. Work and pray, live on hay, You'll get pie in the sky when you die. That's a lie. That's a lie. All our mics on, vocals?
Vocals.
Yeah. How are we doing? Ready?
Vocals.
1, 2, 3. Long-haired preachers come out every night, try to tell you what's wrong and what's right. But when asked how about something to eat, they will answer in voices so sweet. You will eat, by wonderful friends. You know, I moved to Ithaca 5 years ago this fall from November. One of the first people I met was Doug Robinson, and he's a wonderful musician. He's played on all my records I've made since then, and I'm glad to have him here tonight with my new friends who I met this year, Annie and Marie Burns. Woo! And they're going to do a set for you now. Thank you very much.
Hey, George. George makes beautiful music, and he spends a lot of his time going from Veterans Hospital to Veterans Hospital, and he has friends from all the different wars, and he writes beautiful songs, and we got to sing at his last project. We got to sing at his last project.
So, I'm messing up the sign here.
The sign said.
We just, Ray and I just recorded a Celtic album. It's, a lot of it is about our family, generations from Ireland, and here's a song. A lot of our family found us from County Clare. Here's a song by Ralph McTell. It's called From Clare to Here. Kind of get a little, I don't know, something. It's a long, long way, it's further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. Four share this room, and we got caught up in the crowd. Sleeping late on Sundays, and we never got to Mass. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way. It's further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. When Friday comes around, we're only into fighting. My mom would like a letter home, but I'm too tired for writing. Well, it's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way. It's further by the day. It's a long, long Doug Robinson.
The next song is a song I wrote after visiting Ireland and learning a little more of the history about the workhouse system, the Irish workhouse system. A little bit of hidden history because it is quite painful. But it's really when the poorhouses came to America, it was really the same system. And, you know, the county farms. And so this song is, it's called The Workhouse. Getting a lot of attention in Ireland at this time, and I'm very happy for that, but such a sad subject, it's kind of hard to like be successful on something that you wrote about something so tragic. So. The last time I saw my father, he said goodbye at the workhouse door. He said, say your prayers and take care of each other. Fighting tears, I kept looking at the floor. I remember walking that cold hallway. I held tight my little sister's hand. They took us from our brothers, our baby and dear mother. I was just a kid and I couldn't understand why they sent us to the workhouse. The workhouse. It was a sad house. It was a bad house. The memories make me cry, the way they locked us up inside in the workhouse. So many loved ones died. Skin and bones, they lined us up like cattle. Unkind hands scrubbed us one by one. Little Katie cried when they cut her hair. My mother's pride just lying there in curly locks of red and golden sun. Why they sent us to the workhouse. The workhouse. It was a sad house. It was a bad house. There were four in every bed when the fever came and spread. In the workhouse, you work until you're dead. In 49, my family was still standing. We thought the hunger years were in the past. And then the landlord's man threw us off our land and burned us out
This is a song we also recorded on our latest CD. The CD is called Looking Back Our American Irish Souls. And it's about being Americans, but we're full of Irish blood, so that in itself is a culture unto itself. And anyway, that's how we thought of doing this. And I heard this song from my sister Sheila, who went to prep school one year in Ireland, and she came back singing this, and I loved it. And I think it's about the Irish gypsies. It's called Freeborn Man. I'm a freeborn man of the traveling people. Got no fixed abode with nomads, I am numbered. Country lanes and byways were always my ways. I never fancied being lumbered. Oh, we knew the woods and the resting places, and a songbird sang when winter days were over. Then away we would cut and beyond the road. Those were good old days for a rover. There was open ground where a man could linger for a week or two, for time was not our master. Then away you shot with your horse and all, nice and easy, no need to go faster. Well, I've known life hard and I've known it easy, and I've cursed the life when winter days were dawning. But I laughed and sung through the whole night long, seen the summer sunrise in the morning. All you freeborn men of the traveling people, every tinker, rolling stone, or gypsy rover, winds of change are blowing, old ways are going. Your traveling days will soon be over. Your traveling days will soon be over.
Thank you. This next song is a song that a very close friend of mine by the name of Bob Childers, who passed away a couple years ago, he wrote this song, and I've recorded a few of his songs, one being Dance with the Gypsies, one being Blue Diamond, and this one is called Prisoner of the Promised Land. And he wrote it after we were in Okemo, Oklahoma, the home of Woody Guthrie, and almost overnight, this Mexican family-run restaurant they disappeared overnight. It was during the time of the Iraq War and the Patriot Act all being really enforced. But he wrote this beautiful song, and here it goes. so far from home and so alone. Too late, you understand that you are a prisoner of the promised land. Through the jungle with your hopes and your fears, the aching memory of your family's tears. Through the river and in burning sand, now you are a prisoner of the promised land. And it doesn't matter how far you came, if you've got no green card, you've got no name, and all that matters are your back and hands when you're a prisoner of the promised land. You send your money and you send your love. You send your prayers to your God above, and you carry on the best that you can when you're a prisoner of the promised land. It doesn't matter how far you came, if you've got no green card, you've got no name, and all that matters are your back and hands when you're a prisoner of the promised land. So far away from Sierra Madre, so far from home and so alone.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to do another song that we included on our new CD. Now, is this clear to you guys? My hearing's a little wacky, so. Okay, good. What's that? Oh, okay. I'll back off. I can go like this. Is that better? Anyway, this song is called I Would, and it's by, I'm going to pick up this mic. It's by Daryl Burgess, and it's how we all feel about our children and grandchildren and everyone that's dear to us. If I could keep out the rain, shield your heart from pain, I swear for you I would slay dragons while you sleep, keep them from your dreams. be your strength when all your strength is gone. If that's all I have to give, I'd give all of this just to keep you strong. I'd give you life beyond this world. If I had the power, I would give up my breath, lay down my soul. You know, for you I would stand in the fire if that's what it takes to bring you home again. I'd fall to my knees, I'd whisper a prayer for you. I I'd give you life beyond this world. If I had the power, I would give up my breath, lay down my soul. You know, for you, I would. I would. Thank you. We've got one more song for you.
And we had a request. I get to mix my two most important issues, one being anti-fracking and one being $15 living wage. Being a gardener and a house painter myself, I know how important this is. It's a song called The Gas Man. Gas man plays a stacked hand. He's no friend of mine. He wants to cut down the big oaks, the ash and the pine. And he'll sicken your kettle with his chemical brine. He'll lie to get you to sign on the line. Gas man's got a big plan, says the money's gonna flow. The gas man's got some secrets he doesn't want you to know. He's gonna push back your topsoil and crops cannot grow. And your cornfields will be backhoes row by row. Is it the end of the wild blue yonder? Little backwood roads or country lanes? Politicians taking cash and gas man's moving fast. And when the damage is done, who's gonna take the blame? Gas man is coming to our sacred ground. He's gonna throw us a big party. He'll buy round after round, and all the good jobs will be gone. Are now a living hell, and you can't drink the water from the well. Is it the end of the wild blue yonder? Little backwood roads moving fast, and when the damage is done, who's gonna take the blame? I look around me and think this whole world's gone insane. Thank you, everybody. Now we'll bring Pete Myers up here to have a little rap.
All right, again, because of Time Warner lack of provision, my personal camera ran out of time.
Do the rap or you can sing the rap.
I'm gonna rap.
He's gonna rap a rap.
Actually, there's a little bit of a change in plans here. I'm gonna wrap it. It's actually not gonna be, I'm not gonna give the shtick right now about the campaign, but I'm actually gonna be hearing first from Magpie, which is Terry Leonino and Greg Ortzner, as well as George Mann. Stay tuned for the rap.
All right. Rapper, rapper, rap, they call it a rap.
Well, thank you to the Burns sisters, Annie and Marie, and of course Doug Robinson for the opening set.
Yeah. Would you like to do that again?
Would you have freedom from wage slavery, then join in the grand industrial band? Would you from misery and hunger be free, then come to your share lend a hand? There is power in a working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand. You get a lot of chances to sing that, folks. Maybe we should do it again. There is power in a working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand. Would you have mansions of gold in the sky and live in a shack way in the back? Would you have wings up in heaven to fly and starve here with rags on your back? There is power in a working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand. Now this next verse, we made one little change because Terry and I are vegan vegetarians, and we're trying our best to do our little bit to break the stranglehold that the animal agriculture industry has. If there is a mega corporate interest in the entire world, it is the animal agriculture industry, folks. So, if you've had enough of the blood of the lamb, then join in the grand industrial band. If for a change you'd have tofu and yams, then come to your share lend a hand. There is power in the working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land. One industrial union brand. If you like sluggers to beat on your head, then don't organize, all unions despise. If you want nothing before you are dead, shake hands with your boss and look wise. There is power in the working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that be workers from every land and join in the grand industrial band. Then we our share of this earth shall demand. Come on, do your share, let dance. There is power in the working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land. One industrial union grand. There is power in the working people's band when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land. One industrial union grand.
Thank you so much.
All right, I just wanted to get one of their songs. Sorry, I had to switch to the cell phone again because of lack of Time Warner provision. We will not be able to continue with the rest of the concert. There was another great performer, and these folks are great. At least we got one song in on the cell phone. Sorry about the sound quality. Again, Time Warner, you need to start funding. I should have dispatched a couple cameramen to this concert and a couple cameras, and then I could have covered the event correctly. Thank you.
I dreamed I saw JoE last night, alive as you and me. Says I to Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. In Salt Lake, Joe, my God, says I, been standing by my bed. They framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I ain't dead. Says Joe, but I ain't dead. The copper bosses, they killed you, Joe. They shot you, Joe, says I. Takes more than guns to kill a man, says Joe. I didn't die, says Joe. I didn't die. Standing there as big as life and smiling with his eyes, says Joe, what they could never kill went on to organize. Went on to organize. Joe Hill ain't dead, he says to me. Joe Hill ain't never died. Where workers are out on strike, Joe Hill is at their side. Joe Hill is at their side. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and mill, where workers strike and organize, it's there you'll find Joe Hill. It's there you'll find Joe Hill. he's dead. I'd never die, says he. I'd never die, says he.
Greg Artstill, Terry Marie. Thank you so much. But without further ado, my good friend and the coordinator of the Tompkins County Workers Center, Pete Myers.
Somehow, some way, I think I need to know more about the Wobblies, about the international workers of the world. And I think that the movement that we're entering into now is somehow parallels that, and I'm inspired and thankful to the musicians tonight for doing this benefit for us. To put our campaign into context, if those of you, I'm presuming if you're here tonight, you know what this campaign is about. Really, in terms of local levels, it was Seattle last year, the end of last year, that passed a living wage law that basically will take people up to $15 an hour within 5 years. Los Angeles, San Francisco have done it, Santa Fe has done it. We are going to be the first rural county in the country to do it, with your help. And I think that the Tompkins County Workers Center is very well positioned to do this. We actually started out as the Tompkins County Living Wage Coalition back in the early 2000s, for those of you who don't remember. Our first really big campaign was with the paraprofessionals, which are teachers' assistants, teachers' aides in the school system, and with the help of somebody on the school board as well, Ben Nichols, our ex-mayor, Judith Van Allen, is here tonight. The paraprofessionals at that time in 2002 were making $6.50 an hour, and after our campaign, a year-and-a-half campaign, they went up to $9.50 an hour. So it was an incredible victory, and led the Workers Center, the Living Wage Coalition, then eventually the Workers Center, to be who we are. Some of the other campaigns that we've done was the Walmart Living Wage campaign. And it's actually interesting to think about the difference between the campaigns that have been successful and the campaigns that haven't necessarily been as successful. And it has to do with where's the local leverage of power. So when we did this Walmart campaign in 2005, when Walmart opened, the leverage of power was in Bentonville, Arkansas. And it was a great campaign. We got 6,000 signatures on a petition. It was fabulous. But there was nobody to pressure locally in a certain way. And I was doing an organizing table on the Commons one time in 2005, and this young woman stopped by the table. This is the story that keeps me going, doing what I'm doing. This young woman stopped by the table and was upset at our big sign that said Walmart pay a living wage, because she said she worked at Walmart full-time as a cashier, making the minimum wage, and that's all that she deserved. I mean, that's really, frankly, not an isolated story. So we argued for an hour, and I said to her, we just kind of went back and forth on it. And I said, like 80 years ago, auto workers working in auto factories were being paid poverty wages, and they decided collectively together that they were worth more than that, and they organized a union, which we now know as the United Auto Workers. We'll talk a little bit more about unions in a second, but I really tell that story because I think it's so important that we reach people, that we each one reach one, so to speak, and actually talk to people, and not just, like wave signs. I mean, I love yard signs. Talk to people in here how much I love yard signs. But it's also about talking to people. And then in 2006, we were the first ever in the United States to start a living wage employer certification program. We just hit 100 last week. And I will be happy to say that we've inspired a program around the country with one of our national partners, Interfaith Worker Justice, to motivate other organizations around the country to kind of mimic our program, and it's actually taking off now. Asheville, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, Durango, Colorado, Buffalo, New York, which we helped to get into the program. So there's communities around the country that are doing living wage employer certification programs, and which is really important. But I think in my own experience, our experience of the Worker Center, it only has a limited, it's going to be employers who are inclined in that direction. Just briefly want to talk about what it's going to take to make this happen in New York, to create a living wage, a minimum wage, it's a living wage in Tompkins County. It's not going to be as easy as it was in Seattle and LA and San Francisco, Santa Fe, because we actually have to get what's called state enabling legislation. We have to get the state government to approve this. And just briefly, what that means is we're very blessed. We have a state assembly. As you can imagine, Barbara Lifton is totally in support of this. It needs to be approved by the Senate, Assembly, and the governor. So Barbara Lifton's in support of this. The Speaker of the Assembly, the new Speaker, Carl Heastie, is in support of this. So that's great news. We think it's going to pass the Assembly. We don't know what the governor is going to do. Last year, he promised the Working Families Party he would allow local wage authority, but he's not really acted on that yet. And then we have a Republican state Senate. I was just talking to a potential state Senate candidate who's, you will all know who this person is, who really thinks that she could win the seat, but she said her experience is that most people in Tompkins County doesn't know who the state senator even is. And there's actually 3 of them, but nobody knows who the state senator is. So start thinking about the state Senate. I do want to encourage you to sign the petitions as you go out. Petitions are going to be important. We're going to have to pressure the local government first, the local county legislature. If you know any county legislatures, and I'm sure a lot of you do, please contact them. Let them know that you think this is an important issue. I do want to have a few people speak about the importance of a living wage, and we actually lost 2 people that we're going to have speak tonight about who are not making a living wage. And I think I want to tell you really quickly an important story. One of the women, her name is, I know a lot of you will know who Amber Little is. She was a woman that came to us to our Workers' Rights Hotline 5 years ago after having been fired from Cost Cutters, Regis Corporation. This is the corporation that's the largest hair salon corporation in the world. She lost her job, but strangely, she got hired by Supercuts, which is in the Panera ex-Kmart Plaza. She was fired a month ago because she refused to wear makeup. So, and this was somebody who was making the minimum wage, and we're starting to think, I mean, it seems like a no-brainer that this is a gender discrimination case. She actually is doing home visits now, and she's actually cutting somebody's hair, but if people need a home visit, Amber is looking for business, and we think the world of her at the Worker Center, so please let me know, and I'll figure out a way to put you in contact with her. I do want to have a few workers here tonight that are going to speak. The first one I want to introduce is from an incredible retail store, an incredible owner, Mandy Midlinger from Jillian's Drawers. I would like to introduce a worker who does a little bit of everything at Jillian's Drawers and manages the diaper services specifically. It is my great pleasure to introduce somebody who's been greatly affected by a living wage, Kelly Cervanich.
Thank you. Just have to mention before I do my little spiel that we actually got told the other day, someone called placing a phone order that said they ordered from us because they knew we were a certified living wage employer. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm a single parent in the truest sense. I've raised my son since birth with one parent and one income and no child support. My son has never set foot in daycare. Thank you. He's never set foot in daycare, and I can count on one hand the number of times I've actually paid someone to watch him or for childcare of any kind. I do work full-time. I have family in the area, which I'm very lucky for, who've certainly helped out with things. I also homeschool my son. Most people are like, how? How is that possible to do all those things? Well, in my opinion, the reason that I've been able to stay true to my values and live the life that I want to is because I was lucky enough to find a job back in 2007 with a company that puts families first. I was able to start at a wage that was a living wage and work up from there. I feel blessed to be in a work environment where I can bring my child to work, I get health insurance, paid time off, and where we work together to create work schedules that fit everyone's lives and benefit everyone. I feel that this stems from a set of values that seems to go hand in hand with offering a living wage. It's not just about the wage, it's about companies who put their people first and make that a priority and maintain those connections. When I started working there, little did I know I was actually signing up for a whole nother family that's been a part of my life now ever since then. Employers will value employees more, and it seems that they'll engage them more, and likely everyone will benefit. I never imagined myself working in retail as an adult. It's been 8 years now. My son will be 10 in a few months. And I do this because of the unique balance I've been able to find with what the company offers and what I'm able to get from it.